Can I not marry? Audio web novel chapter 28. The president is angry. Increase my wages. When Du Lacey heard these 3 words, it was as if she's been injected with a strong stimulus. She was extremely excited. Springing up from the sofa, her eyes shone with currencies, and instantly she started to flatter the certain someone. Really? You want to give me a pay rise? How much are? Just the mention of money, all her anger had been diminished. However, her type of money-hungry personality wasn't one bit annoying in Lian Jun's eyes. Instead, he felt increasingly carefree. How about I'll add another 0 at the end of the sum? What do you think? Merely saying these words have shaken Du Lacey to the core. After a very long she was trembling. That is, there's a decimal point in front of that 0 R. No. Then there's the RMB after the 0, right? Please don't say yen. Yes. Lian Jun helplessly nodded. Can you please pinch me? Facing the mindless Du Lacey, Lian Jun felt somewhat helpless. You don't believe me? Du Lacey nodded and used her paws to clutch the president's hand, then using it to mercilessly pinch her own face. When his hand touched her cheeks, she didn't know why, unexpectedly her heart felt some warmth. Ouch. After feeling the pan, Du Lacey was happy. Hey, it's not a dream. Why did the president want to increase her wage? In fact, the answer is within the phone call Jason made. A few minutes ago, Lian Enterprise and Mukwai Company have signed a cooperation agreement after negotiating for over 3 months. And this contract was the exact contract Du Lacey helped adjusted a few days ago. The contract can be signed so quickly. Du Lacey also has merit. In Lian Enterprise, their employees' rewards and punishment system are always very clear. Even temporary employees are entitled to these benefits. So from a poor person living on 1 pair of underwear whilst suffering many hardships, Du Lacey have transformed into a millionaire. This feeling is like mixing a cup of melamine milk and transforming it to a mixed protein powder of melatonin. How can she not be happy and excited? Fei Fei, I want to invite you out to dinner, Du Lacey said with much excitement while dancing around. Zhu Yaofei was in the middle of playing games, when she suddenly received a phone call causing her to be distracted and giving the boss the chance to cut her into pieces. She was so angry that shouted into the phone, Du Lacey, you have gather money. If you have enough money, quickly repay me the soda money. You still thinking of that 8-cent soda money? Don't be so stingy. Having money, her tone was certainly different. Du Lacey lofty waved, I'll shout you to 108 barbecue buffet. Forget it. You don't even have much family wealth, yet you still want to shout me 108 barbecue buffet. What about these 18 pieces of optional hot and spicy soup that you promised to shout 5 months ago? Zhu Yaofei angrily asked. Fei Fei, I'm not lying to you. I'll invite you to dinner, you can even bring Chia-kun along. What? Condom? You have suddenly become rich. Chia-kun's voice came through the speakers. You are a dead fox, you are condoms, you and your entire family are condoms. Du Lacey angrily gnashed her words. In this world only Zhao Yaofei that rascal can suppress Chia-kun the dead fox. This is the legend of one thing restraining another. Just as the two of them were quarreling across the phone, the president suddenly came into the room. His eyebrows had a hint of dissatisfaction. What are you arguing about? Ever since this morning he mentioned giving her a pay rise, her mentality have been abnormal. Even separated by a wall he could still hear her voice. On the side, Chia-kun heard Lian Jun's voice and playfully said, Condom, why can I hear a man's voice? Don't tell me someone is finally willing to accept you the condom. The more he spoke the more outrageous it got. Du Lacey angrily shouted into the phone, Chia Fox, go die. Then she angrily hung up the phone. Lian Jun witnessed the entire thing and quietly asked, who were you on the phone with before? A dead fox, Du Lacey said. A fox. That's right. Only a dead fox will show off one's eloquence. Once he sees me addresses me as condom, non-stop condoming. He doesn't even think as a grown man appearing more beautiful than a woman is funky to death. Because Du Lacey was in a fit of anger, once she started complaining she didn't know when to stop. When she finally realized that the president have witnessed how she acted the entire time, while Chia-kun at the other end of Earth sneezed multiple times. Excuse me, I was so angry that I feel dizzy. Du Lacey said as she poked out her tongue, thinking that the president must be reluctant to hear her talk about such matters. But Lian Jun didn't say much regarding the matter, he only casually asked, "Your friend is a man?" Yes. However, not only is Chia Fox's appearance better than a woman, his mouth is also more poisonous than a woman. You guys have a good relationship. Good my ass. Whoever wants to have a good relationship with him will have 8 lifetimes of misfortune. After Du Lacey finished speaking, she glanced at the president. She felt that his expression seemed slightly dark. Could it be she have spoken malicious remarks of others and form an impolite image of herself, thus degrading the president's own image? It is no wonder a person such as the president, who have since young received aristocratic education, would certainly dislike a rogue female like her. Du Lacey thought, and added, in fact, although his mouth is poisonousness to a certain extent. However, his heart is not bad. At least his appearance is still passable. Here. Du Lacey racked her brains to think of Chia Fox's little bits of merits. She almost vomited blood. While on the other side, the president's expression gradually became darker and darker as time passed. Don't say any more. Saying these words, the person is already gone, leaving Du Lacey alone in the room completely confused. The president is angry. It appears that the president is angry. This resulted in Du Lacey to carefully and comprehensively to observe. Ever since Lian Jun left with a dark face, he never uttered another word. He sat alone on the sofa while silently watched TV. Even when she pretended to approach, he didn't utter another sentence, completely ignoring her. This time, Du Lacey was worried. This is all thanks to her complacency. Thinking of her $1 million wages was still in the president's hand. Why did she betray herself? Once she thought of how she'll talk her friends in front of the president. She knew she completely disregarded her image as the president's wife. She completely exposed her ugly true side and dark mentality. Du Lacey's heart have much regret. Curse all of Chia Kun's future opportunities. Even so, it'll be difficult for her to earn back the 15,000 pieces of silver that have fallen into the ocean. Du Lacey's heart was anxious. This morning's dream flashed before her eyes. Countless of $100 bills that filled the sky was instantly turned into dancing $1 notes. No. All those $100 bills all turned into HD simulated counterfeit money. Du Lacey was froze into an ice spirit. From horror fantasy she returned to reality, and the president sitting on the sofa. An antithetical couplet suddenly appeared in her mind. Train her mind to be thick-skinned. B. Innumerable amount of money. C. There's also her wages. Inspired by the antithetical couplet, Du Lacey regrouped her mentality and put on her thick skin before reapproaching. President, are you thirsty? If you're not thirsty, then are you hungry? If you're not hungry, then how about I massage your shoulders for you? After Du Lacey said this, regardless of whether Lian Jun replied or not, she took off her slippers and climbed onto the sofa. Using both of her claws she kneaded the president's shoulders. Her 2 claws knead. This skill was like wrapping dumplings, gentle and soft. Such soft movements was like Mars crossing over the grassland. Whatever she touched, a certain part of the body was ready to erupt. The president didn't push her away, so there's still hope of her receiving her wages. So Du Lacey knead with more effort. While kneading she also asked, is it comfortable? Her voice was like a breeze blowing over the surface of the lake, causing ripples, making his fingers unconsciously move. I also know how to unblock the gallbladder channels as well. Would you like to try? As she said this, her 2 claws moved to Lian Jun's arms. This is called the pericardium meridian. Qian Tianqi 1 Tianquan 2 Chuzai 3 Niwan 4 Laogong 5 and Zhengchong 6 point. It can supplement the blood flow. With her index finger kneading throughout his entire body, little sparks were seen spreading. It aroused the prairie fire. On the side, Du Lacey continued to show off her knowledge of traditional Chinese medicine. This is the Shenmen 7, located on the wrist side. If you massage it every few days, it can treat insomnia. Oh, why is your hand so hot? Suddenly, his hands twist her flexible palm and tightly wrapped her hand. Du Lacey was startled. President, you also want to try it? That. Here is the Shenman point. Why are you needing my entire hand? Her sentence wasn't finished when Lian Jun suddenly gently tugged the defenseless Du Lacey into his arms. I want to give it a try. His voice was hoarse, it wasn't serious like the past, it has a unique charm, gently blowing down on her heart causing her entire ear to turn red. What are you saying? This is not a meridian point. The scorching hand within her clothing abruptly froze upon hearing her voice. This time, Du Lacey with such low EQ also know what will happen next. His lips have been affixed to her neck, gently stroking it bit by bit. In an instant, an electric current passes through her body. Wait a minute. What? Lian Jun stopped appearing very unhappy. Her eyes were twinkling. I haven't had a bath. My God. Even this does not happen during a TV drama. What are you shivering? Lian Jun raised his eyebrows. I'll accompany you to wash. No need. Then let's grasp on the time. The 2 buttons on her chest were unbuttoned. Wait a minute. And what do you want now? I think it's not a good idea to do it on the sofa. Okay. Lian Jun embraced her up. Suddenly being lifted in the air frightened Du Lacey. What are you doing? Didn't you say it's not good on the sofa? Then let's go to the bed. Once he finished saying this, he carried her into the room and placed her on the bed, then using his entire body to press down on her. Wait a minute. What are you doing now? I'm not ready yet. It's okay, we can prepare together. Don't wait. Her voice disappeared as his tongues fused with hers. What was the online quote again? A man always has a way to shut a woman up. No, not this sentence. There's another sentence. That's right, when a man gift a woman clothing, it's so he can personally take it off. Then obviously, a man gifting a woman lingerie, of course it is too. Perhaps the couplet should be changed.